I'm Diana Brazzell. I'm a co-founder of Footnote, and I'm excited to be here tonight because we are very much a Brown company. We've worked with a lot of scholars from Brown. A couple of our first customers are in Rhode Island, including a new center at Brown. But most importantly, our co-founders all lived on the same floor freshman year. That's how we met. So our company would not exist without Brown. But I want to start by talking to you about what I did after Brown, after I graduated. So I left Brown. I did not end up in prison, but what I did is I went to DC and I worked at a think tank called the Urban Institute doing research on prisons and the criminal justice system. So I did actually go to a lot of prisons around the country doing research, including this one in Chicago. I'm guessing I've probably been in more correctional facilities than anyone here, although I can't say that for sure. I really loved this work. I thought the research we were doing was important, and I'll tell you why. Because the criminal justice system in our country is huge, and it's broken. 1 in 31 adults is currently either in prison, in jail, on parole, or on probation. And this costs billions of dollars a year. So the research we were doing was aimed at trying to understand how we can prevent people from ending up in prison, and also help them once they're out to get back on track so they don't end up back in prison. So I felt like the work we were doing was really important and had the potential to have a big impact, but I was really frustrated with the way that we were sharing it. It didn't feel like it was reaching the people who needed it. We would spend months and hundreds of thousands of dollars on a research project, and then at the end, it would turn into a 150-page report or a policy brief that was full of jargon and technical details. So the people who might actually need this information, a warden at a prison, a policymaker, a social service provider who works with people coming out of prison, they don't have time and they don't have the background knowledge to deal with a 150-page report. What I found is that my experience was really representative of a much broader problem in academia. If you're a scholar, there's a very clear path for how to share your research with other academics. But if you want to reach a broader audience of practitioners or the general public, it's like you come to the edge of a cliff and there's no clear system for how to do that. And this isn't just an issue for academics. I think this is really an inefficiency in our society. We spend $65 billion a year funding research at universities in the US. There's 1.5 million academic journal articles published every year. So there's a ton of knowledge, but it's locked behind paywalls and inaccessible language that people aren't able to access. And then when we look at the news media, where a lot of us do get our information, there is a really big challenge around financially sustainable models for creating high quality content. We see a race to the bottom where we end up with celebrity news and cat videos and holograms of singers talking about the election. So for me, when you look at all the academic experts in this country, it feels like a really untapped resource, right? These are the people that we pay as a society to produce knowledge. That's their whole job. They're experts. But when we want to learn about solutions to climate change or the impact of healthcare reform or new medical advances and insights into human behavior, we're hearing it from journalists and pundits and talking heads and bloggers. Wouldn't it be great if instead we were hearing directly from the scholars who spend their lives studying these topics and problems? So the good news is that the academic community is really motivated and excited about sharing their research with a broader audience, so much so that they're willing to fund it. But they need someone to help them do it, and that's where Footnote comes in. So we serve as a bridge between academics and audiences outside of academia who can use research and expertise. We do this by applying a journalistic approach to sharing academic knowledge. We work directly with scholars from around the country, these are a few of the people we've worked with at Brown, to translate their research and expertise into original content that's short, easy to digest, engaging, and accessible. For me, when I think about why I love what I do, scholars have always been the ones who are on the frontier of pushing our knowledge forward. That's what they do, that's what they're passionate about. And when I think about where we're going to be in 50 years, whether we're going to figure out how to survive on this planet, politically or environmentally, scholars are going to be a big part of that. But in order for that to happen, we need an informed public. We need people who have more than just cat videos and celebrity gossip to find when they go looking for information. We need to help academics share their research so audiences outside of academia can take that and turn it into action. So we're Footnote. You can check out our site, footnote1.com. Follow us on Twitter or on Facebook at Footnote Media. Thank you very much.